Damage control. Portland takes out a full-page ad in the New York Times after a year of riots for its shithole city. Thank you, Ted Wheeler, for making Portland just as bad as Chirac or, the Middle East. After a year that included 120 consecutive nights of rioting, and they're still rioting, so it's still going on. The city of Portland purchased a full-page advertisement in the New York Times in an attempt to repair their image and attract tourists. No one's going back. You let the mob take over your city. Because you're feckless and spineless, and you allowed a DA who sides with communists and insurrectionists, leftist insurrectionists. After a year that included more than 120 consecutive nights of rioting, the city of Portland purchased a full-page advertisement in the New York Times in an attempt to repair their image and attract tourists. This is Portland. You've heard a lot about us lately, and it's been a while since you've heard from us. Some of what you've heard about Portland is true. Some of it is not. Mostly of it is true. What matters most is that we're true to ourselves. A rioting, communist fucking dystopia. There's a river that cuts through. I don't give a shit about your words. I really don't care. Come see for yourself. Love Portland. Huh. Just like Seattle, just another Democrat shithole with Democrat fucking rule and oligarchy in one place. And this is why people are never coming back to your city and why businesses are leaving in droves. Sheriff's riot squad likely to step back from crowd control. You let the terrorists and white supremacist insurrectionists. Monmouth County will rein its use of the crowd control unit to police protests in the wake of the mass resignation of Portland Police Bureau's Rapid Response Team, a top union official says. No, they're scabs. They're still staying. Bravo to the police that actually left and went to places that actually want policing. And yes, I am for legit policing, not these scabs who arrest regular Americans for, not going with the COVID rules, even though it's not a law. None of the COVID regulations and restrictions were laws, but yet they're still arresting people because they're scabs and they're bad police. But I do support good policing, and most of them left, so you're left with scabs. And maybe defunding the police was a stupid movement that got a lot of people killed, and it disproportionately affects black people most. So if you said defund the police, congratulations, you're a racist. Portland, since last year, increase versus this time last year, 533% homicides, up. 126% shootings, up. Atlanta, 58%, 40%. Philadelphia, 37%, 27%. NYC, 13%, 64%. Los Angeles, 22%, 51%. Chirac, where it's always terrible, 5%, 18%. And the murders are up. And what is the common theme here? Oh, Democrat ran shitholes that ran on defund the police. Oh, goody boy. And actually defunded the police. The only one we're not seeing there is Seattle. I'm pretty sure murders and homicides are up as well. And in order to reduce police stops affecting people of color, Portland's law enforcement will no longer pull over people for expired plates or other motor violations. Last year, the city abolished its police gun violence reduction team for the similar reasons. Hey, good luck. Oh my god, I don't care. Shut up. Gun violence is surging in Portland. What can be done to stop it? Get rid of the DA, who's a feckless loser who sides with insurrectionists. Get rid of Ted Wheeler, who's also spineless. Let these insurrectionists go in his building and threaten him, and everybody in his building flees and says, "Oh, there's no problem here. Antifa doesn't exist. They're not in trouble." If you're wondering who the Portland DA is, Mike Schmidt is a feckless loser who sides with insurrectionists. And if you don't believe me, hundreds of Portland rioters, I cleaned up your thing, rioters and insurrectionists will see their criminal cases dropped as DA announces plan to recognize the right to speak. But yeah, you arrest Trump supporters for the same reason, right? And here's the feckless loser, Ted Wheeler. Also, the Democrats are notorious for changing history. Remember the party switching, the famous party switching when only 3 Democrats switched to Republican? And that's somehow justifiably the thing that the left goes to. Well, the party switched. The Republicans are now the Republicans are now today the racists, and the Democrats are always good. The party switch never happened. I'm sorry to tell you that. It's fake history if you're quoting that. But of course, they're famous for changing history. And here's another instance. Washington, D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser claims that there was only one night of rioting in the district last summer, and that we do not permit any riotous behavior. Yeah, of course not. Of course not. Just watch videos of Rand Paul get basically chewed out by rioters. Look at all the riots that happened on Andy No. Elijah Schaffer's a good one. Just go through his thing from last year and see all the riots that happened in Washington, D.C.
A couple questions in terms of how the district has handled people who have rioted in the summer versus people that breached the Capitol. I condemn both equally. But have you determined, have you seen any information in terms of insurance claims of how much property damage was done during the summer rioting? Do you have a figure on that? Because we know nationally those riots, close to $2 billion in insurance claims.
Well, thank you, Senator, for your interest in the district. But I have to address your question first by talking about the residents of D.C. 700,000 people, hardworking individuals who educate their children, start businesses, and work in the district. It would be incorrect to say that D.C. residents have more of an interest in the federal government than other Americans. We know that we have federal interest.
Again, that's not the question I asked you. So could you answer the question? Can you answer the question I asked you? Do you have a property damage estimate from the summer riots?
I'm glad to hear you say that you are opposed to riotous behavior, whether it happened on 16th Street or here.
Madam Mayor, could you answer the question? Do you have an estimate of the property damage during the summer riots?
I know that we had one night of rioting in the district in the summer.
Do you know how many people were arrested for the summer riots?
We've had dozens of people arrested over the last year.
How many are still being detained?
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that.
Do you know whether by using geolocation, did we go and arrest people that participated in the summer riots in their individual states, like we did with the January 6th breachers?
If you're asking about how the Federal Bureau of Investigation operates, you'll have to address those questions to them. I can speak for the Metropolitan Police Department, and we do not permit any riotous behavior, whoever is conducting it. And we have made arrests in both cases. In cases where we had riotous behavior, and that is a specific behavior here on the Congress's grounds and on city streets.
Okay, my final point is I know the House of Representatives, some members have written a letter to you.
These racist Democrats always trying to change history. Always trying to change the narrative so it never, unfits their narrative of being, racists and pieces of garbage. How she can sit there with a straight face and say that. How she can do it. The one question I would have asked her is, what specific day was this riot? What specific day was this one riot that you claim? She probably couldn't name it. She probably could not name it because there were dozens. There were more than 5, if not upwards of 12, riots in D.C. last year. But hey, these Democrats are gonna lie through their teeth, just like they always do. That's gonna be the video, guys. Let me know in the comment section below what you think, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.